Hello, scholars. We're going to go over 1.3 Practice A because I saw a lot of similar work that was more incomplete than anything, but we're just going to review to make sure you have all the right answers here. So the first thing we're always going to do is make sure that our name is on our paper. And today's date, because I noticed when I was grading yesterday, just put the date that you're on there, okay? Always make sure that I can tell it's your paper. Secondly, what we're going to do is read the directions. So in exercises 1 and 2, identify the segment bisector of AB, then find AB. Now I know a segment bisector means the point in the middle. So the first thing I'm going to do is identify that segment bisector. So I'd put an M over here if I'm doing my work on my paper. And then I want to find AB. And so what that says, if there's no line on there, we're finding the distance. And since we see that half of AB is marked 15, then we can conclude that the other section is also 15 and it's worth 30. And there's no units. And then we put a box around our answer. Now we can go through to number 2. Half of it happens to be 5.5. M is our midpoint in this picture. And 5.5 plus 5.5 is 11. So again, if those are my two answers, I am going to put a box or circle. Now 3 and 4, a lot of people just wrote that these things were equal. But what you're going to do is actually find ST. Okay, so identify the bisector and then find ST. So the first thing in number 3, my identifier is M. And over here it's also M, so I'll just go ahead and add that. If I know that these two things are equal, we're in number 3, x plus 12 is equal to 8x minus 2, then I can use my scratch paper and I can write that x plus 12 is equal to 8x minus 2. Of course, this is not ideal. So what I'm going to do is move this over. I think I can move it over, or at least move down here. And I'm going to write all in one line, just like we did from algebra. So now I'm going to take away x from both sides. And while I'm at it, I'm going to add 2 to both sides to get rid of that. So on this side I have 7x. On this side I have 14. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. By 7. And I get x equals 2. Now that I know x equals 2, then I can go back and solve this small equation from here to here. That makes 2 plus 12 equal to 14. It also makes 16 minus 2 equal to 14. So ST then is 14 plus 14, which is 28. And I saw a lot of people write down the equation, but they didn't actually solve it. That's why it's always a good idea to do your work on scratch paper and read directions carefully. Again, we're going to do the same thing with number 4. I'll do it over here. 2x plus 3 equals 4x minus 7. This is where you will use your algebra skills. I'm going to take away 2x from both sides to make that one go away. And since I'll still have x's on the right, I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So on this side I get 10. On this side I get 2x. I'm going to divide whatever is doing the multiplying. So I get x equals 5. Now I can go back to the original problem and I can plug it into either here, 2x plus 3 to get 13, or 20 minus 7 to get 13. So if those are both 13, then you add them together. Your answer is 26. And I put a box around my answer. I expected to see the work, on your papers for all of this, and some of you just didn't get that done. Okay, now you can pause this at any time to follow that work. I'm gonna stop to erase. Okay, so now we're gonna look at 7 through 14. Again, the first thing I'm gonna do is read the directions. It tells me that the endpoints JK are given. Find the coordinates of the midpoint. We have a little formula that we did in our notes, and it looks like this. The first coordinate is your x's, and the second one is your y's. So in J, it's -3, and in K, it's 9. So you add them together, you divide by 2. The y coordinate in J is 2, and then you add another 2 and you divide by 2. So for number 7, -3 plus 9 is 6, divided by 2 is 3, and 2 plus 2 is 4, divided by 2 is 2, and so this is my midpoint. I expect to see that kind of work on your paper. For number 8, same thing, I'll do it over here. 1 plus 7, those are your x coordinates divided by 2, and then here it's going to be 3 plus 5 y coordinates divided by 2, so that's going to be 8 over 2, which is 4, and 8 over 2, which is 4. So again, I show my work, I clearly write my answer, and I box it. That's what I expect from you. Now, I'm going to go on to the next one. These problems are slightly different. In this point, you have the midpoint and one end. So you're supposed to find the other end. So M is the midpoint. I need some more space here. Which means if I was going to just draw a plain picture, right? A, B. That's what it says. You're given the endpoints of A, B. And M is in the middle. So this one is 2, 5. And A is 2, 3. So if you have graph paper, it'd be really easy to figure out. Or you could just look as far as this goes. If it goes from 2 to 2, then this coordinate is also going to be 2. And then if it goes from 3 to 5, that distance is 2, and so this one's going to be 2 more, which will be 5 plus 7. So that one you can actually figure out by drawing it. Number 10 is going to be a little bit different. Again, I will box this. Okay, if I have a line where my midpoint is -4, -4. And here's A. B is -1, -1. Then if you want to pop it in the formula, that might be the easiest. Okay, our formula is x sub 1 plus x sub 2, meaning both of the x's, y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. And you know that -4 is equal to both of these. These are equal to -4. You also know that x sub 2 is -1 from here, and y sub 2 is -1 from here. So you can actually do this on your scratch paper and write a little formula. Again, this is scratch paper here. So if you want to do this problem, then you have to multiply both sides by 2 because of the division by 2. Then on this side you have negative 8 equals x sub 1 plus a negative 1. I'm going to add 1 to both sides to make the x sub 1 alone. And one of those 1's is going to cancel, and I end up getting x sub 1 equals negative 7. You should be able to tell this is exactly the same, so I'm also going to get y sub 1 equals 7. And then I can go back to my problem up here, and I can write my answer of negative 7, negative 7. That's what A is. Put a box around it. Now I want you all at this point, for just a second, to look at your work. Does your work show all this? It doesn't have to be quite this detailed, but there's no reason why it shouldn't be. I should be seeing your best work on every homework. Moving on to 11 and 12, find the distance between the 2 points. So for number 11, the distance formula is x2 minus x1 squared, that's one of the legs, y2 minus y1 squared. So on these problems, this is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. In other words, you just have to pick one of them to be 1 and another one to be the other. And then you pop the numbers in. So x2 is 1, x1 is 5, y2 is 3, y1 is 6. So D equals 16 plus 9. That's the square root of 25. So the distance is 5. Now, if you just wrote 5 as your answer, that's not really going to cut it. Okay? We're scholars. We show our work, and I will expect it. I've gone ahead and written out the numbers for 12. So this is my x's, and this is my y's. You have to make sure that you go the same direction. Okay, so if you subtract g from h, then they both have to be from g from h. So this gives me 2 squared. This gives me negative 6 squared. So this is 4 plus 36, which is the root of 40. And I know that that's going to be 4 times 10, which comes out as 2 root 10 in an exact answer. Again, you would write that up here. So I know this video is long, and I just want to make sure that you all understand this will be our standard. We've got a couple more. Number 13, again, read the directions, especially if it's a word problem. A square has a side length of 4 centimeters. Always a good idea to just draw it. There's my square. That's my side length. What is the length of the diagonal of the square? So that would be like from here to here. That's our x. What is the length from the corner to the center? So we've got two different questions here. The first question is the diagonal. So my diagonal, or the distance, is going to be the square root of 4 squared plus 4 squared. This is a Pythagorean theorem. So it's going to be 16 plus 16, which is 32, which breaks down to 2 times 16, and then finally 4 root 2. So 4 root 2 is the answer to the diagonal. Now if that diagonal from here to here is 4 root 2, then halfway, like from the corner to the center, is 2 root 2, since it's the midpoint. It said explain. This is what explanation looks like. If you don't remember, this is what it said right here. Explain. I will be checking for explanations. Okay. Last problem. During a soccer game, player A is 87 feet from the goal, but chooses to pass the ball to player B, who is 63 feet away. How far away is player B from the goal? So you can do it with this picture, that's fine, but if it were me, I'd probably just redraw it so that I see the right triangle clearly. So what I'm looking for is down here. That's my X. I know it goes 63 up and it goes 87 across. So it's asking me for this. It's the same thing we've been working with, the Pythagorean theorem or the distance formula. So we know that a squared plus x squared, these are the legs, is equal to 87 squared. We grab our calculators. We multiply our numbers. Now we're going to subtract 3969 from 7569, and we get 3600. Then we are going to square root both sides to get rid of our square, and we get x equals 60. Now the question is, how far away is player B from the goal? So the answer is 60 feet away. That's a proper answer. You don't just write 60, you write 60 feet away. Could be 60 anything. So I hope this illuminates my standards for homework. Maybe we should have done this earlier. But from now on, you should be showing me work like this. Definitely do it on a separate sheet. And scan both so I can see them upright, clear, with your name on it and a proper title. Thank you.